Well, I finally get a chance to go metal detecting. I know it's been a little while, but September was a really busy month for me, so we got a pretty cool place to go today, so let's get on out there. So we're here. This house is pretty old. It's got a lot going for it. It's 2 stories. It's got a big sandstone foundation. It's right beside an area that had a great big spring that's actually on all the maps. Pretty good sized home. It's up on like a knob. Everything else around here is just big, wide open, flat fields. But this spot, you know, may have been used over and over again quite a few times for homes. For the first house that was here, maybe in the late 1700s. And then the second house was up, and you know, they keep reusing the same spot because it's a good place to put a house. Let's check it out a little bit more. You can see these blocks on this foundation. They're awesome. They're really accurately cut, and I guess I called them sandstone, but these look to be something else. I'm not really sure what kind of stone that is, but they got that blue hue to them, and they're not really all that sandy. But you can see how accurately these things were cut. Look at that fine edge on the side of there. You can see we're out in the country. There's not a lot around. There used to be a house out in that field there that they also gave me permission to hunt or metal detect around. And then see how this low spot is here coming through, and then down through there. There's an old spring, but this house was obviously put here due to that. Both from the maps, I kind of figured that, and then after talking to the landowner, they said that spring has always ran really strong. Pretty nice, cool site. Got some big trees, old house, big yard. Hopefully we'll find something good. Tucked down beside this big pine tree stump, take a look at the old map. This is 1873, and this is the place that we're going to actually be hunting. We have permission. The other one that they had told me about is somewhere out in here. I have to research it, as you can see by my notes there, that somewhere there was a building here as well in the field, but I don't know much about it yet. And see, this is an 1873 Atlas copy of one, so it could have been older than this and gone by the time they made this map. But you can see that little circle right there with that line coming off of it and running through this. That right there is a spring. It looks like Philip Harmon maybe owned this place and lived right there. And then there's Geo Sham lived right here. Today I'm going to be using the Whites V3i. I do have my standard 10-inch D2 coil on here. I love this coil. I know I've been using the 13-inch Detech coil a lot on my machines, but I'm really confident with this 10-inch coil. Figured I'd film a little bit with the dairy cows behind me. They're some of the sweetest animals around, and I appreciate them with their hard work and milk that they supply. So let's go metal detect. So like always, the wind has picked up. So throughout this video, it's going to be, you know, cluttered with a lot of wind noise. I'm going to wear headphones today. That's just the way I metal detect. I know I get away with it sometimes on the MX Sport, but I'm going to run them today. I've worked the yard about 20 feet or so with no good signals. This is the first one. It's right there at 5 inches, 4.5 inches deep or so. You can see where we're at, 53, 54, 52. My Indians usually coming in the 50s, but we're going to see what this is. Well, it's in the plug, so let's come down here. So there it is in the plug. Let's see what that is. Could be anything. Oh, there's something there. What's that? Could be anything. Oh, I think I'm seeing the reeds on the back of it. This is a good way to start off a sight. 1 cent, clearly. Somewhat clearly. There we go. Now it's clearly 1 cent. Let's see what year it is. It's not real thick, so it's not going to be one of the old. Here we go. There it is. Huh, I can't really read the date. I know we're in the 1800s already. It's looking like 1880, maybe 6, 18. I know for sure 188 and then something. It's always that last digit, you know. Here we are, pinpointed at 4¼ inches. This is another good sounding one. You can see how high it is this time. Maybe modern, but I'm hoping it's a dime. As you can tell by the grass blowing around there, it is very windy out. I'm trying to do my best with the wind. I still haven't figured out a windsock for a mic or a cell phone so that we don't get all the wind noise. It's right here. Got something in over here too. Well, as I can already tell, it's going to be a piece of wire or metal of some sort. I think this is probably more of the same. Yep, there we go. That's all we got. We'll check the hole, see if there's something else. I'm just going to move you back because you're on a aluminum camera stand. Well, looky there. There's still something in the plug. Let's bring it over here. Just trying to move you around so hopefully it blocks some of the wind. It's still in here somewhere. Here's more like the depth. Let's see what we get here. Oh yeah, look at that. Can you see it? I don't zoom in a whole lot, but see it there? Right there. Look at that. It's super cool. Get it out of there. Take a look at that. Man, this has been an awesome day. Well, I shouldn't rub that. Let me spray some water on there. So here's our find. We have a 1934 Mercury, or 35 Mercury. Man, that thing's in awesome shape. Look at that detail. Super cool. I'm gonna flip it over now. There's the reverse. Awesome. This is the kind of day I was looking for. I needed this. I know you can't hear this one, but watch the bars for intensity. See how they go down and then start coming back up? There's something right there, but there's also a big target this way. I know this is really iffy, but I'm gonna dig that just see what it is. Now there's a high probability that this could end up being junk, so we'll just see. Now I pulled some dirt out of there just to see what I get, and you can see what I got now. 58, 72, they get right over it. 62, 66. It's real small. It's right in that pile right there. All right, here we go. Could be a nail, could be nothing. There's a grub worm. Oh, something. This is what we have so far. It was down there with a bunch of brick and stuff. Let me pull this a little bit closer. I'll show you some of this brick dust and pieces that are down in there. So there's a little bit of backfill. Something different about it. It's probably more modern. Can't really tell. Yeah, I see Abraham Lincoln there. Let me rub on it and see if we're in, got at least a weedy. And this is what we have. 1 cent. You can see there, it's a wheat cent. Let's flip it over and take a look at the year. It is a 1937. 37 wheat cent. That's pretty cool. A little further away from the house now, and I got an odd signal here. I just want to try digging. 5 1/4. It's low, but I want to just check and see what that is. Check and see if it's still in the hole. Right there at 6 inches. Well, now I'm right over top of it, and it's giving me a up into the 50s. Oh, there it is. This is what we have. Move you into the sun some. There we go. You can see it's made out of brass there, but this is back when shotgun shells were, the full length of it was made out of brass. Pretty old one. Not quite what we're looking for, but still cool. Looks like a Remington Express. Ooh, a little sharp. All right, on to the next. I just dug this hole here, and if you look at the plug, you can see that right there. This was a 42, so, and this house has aluminum siding on it, so I thought that possibly it was a piece of aluminum, so I didn't videotape it. But you can see that concave style indentation. It somewhat looks like a coin. This isn't a coin, but if we look down here in the hole, we got this. I haven't really looked at it yet. I can tell that it's a button. And on the back of it here, you can see where it broke off. See it there in the middle. And there's the front. Got some kind of design on it. Let me clean that off and we'll take a look at it together. Now for people that know more about buttons than me, I don't know a whole lot about them, but you can see that the back was soldered on. See that different color there in the middle? So I think this is made out of brass. You can see that that's a flower there, somewhat of a, a vine going to it with some leaves. And then around the edges, there's a floral design. You can probably see it better right there. That's a pretty cool button. It's about the size, a little bit less than a quarter. There's our next target, 4 1/4, 4 inches deep. It's really loud. There it is, the infamous ring. Looks like horse tack of some sort. That's all we have. We're getting real close to the house, so I'm getting worried about all the aluminum siding where they installed it. It's only 2 3/4 inches deep. You can see the range it's in. It's almost like what I thought that button was last time. Whatever it is, it's in here. Let's take a look at it. Here's what we have. Dirt clod with some kind of metal thing in there. Looks pretty beat up, whatever it is. Let me take a toothbrush to it. Well, folks, I have no idea what that is. Just some mangled up piece of metal. There's our pinpoint at 5 1/4. Somewhat low VDI. Now this is a low VDI, but sometimes they're interesting. Looks like it's in the plug. Let's see what we get. I think I see it already. It's this. What do you think that is? Let me clean it off. We'll take a look at it. This is what it ended up being. Just a piece of aluminum. It's some sort of a ring. I'm not for sure. But you can see there's an attachment there, a pop rivet or something going on. On to the next. So like I said before, the Shawms lived here. And possibly we found some coins that they had dropped in the yard. I'm thinking possibly that older Indian from the 1800s. Let's see if we can find another one of these Indians. I've got a signal here, 5 1/4 inches, and it's reading a 56. I believe that this is another Indian. I took my headphones off just for this dig because it makes walking back and forth to the camera just a little bit easier. We're gonna dig up this Indian head penny, hopefully. Alright, I'm gonna grab the dirt and kind of come over there to you. Let's see if we can do this together. Almost like you're here. I don't see it yet, do you? Some dirt. Hopefully this is an Indian head penny. Right, oh, there it is. At least it's a cent or a penny, one or the other. Toss this dirt back in the hole. See, if I look away too far or too long, this thing can't find me again because it's tracking my face. So this one seems it's not an Indian head. I think it's 1930. So 1 year after the Great Depression started. I'll wipe it off on my jeans and then I'll flip the camera around so we can look at it together a little bit more in detail. So here we go. There's our wheat cent. 1 cent. Let's flip it over. Take a look at the date. I think it's a 1930. On first glance it looked like a 1930, but that might be a 9 back there. But for sure it's a 193 and something. Either 0 or 9. There's a good one. Something silver. Let's take a look and see what we got. Hopefully if that'll follow me down. There we go. I'm still getting good at this, so hopefully it adds a different little dynamic to metal detecting for us. That was a 76. It's about 5 inches deep. Oh, and there it is, and I didn't hit it either. Since I'm up on this big stand right now on this contraption that I'm using, I have to bring my dirt clod up here. And you can see it there right on the edge, hopefully. Let's pull that out of there. And I'm gonna sit this dirt clod down and I'm gonna switch my mode of operation so I can film better. So here we are back on the regular camera mount, but this is the coin we found. Let's take a look at it together, see what we got so far. It looks like a dime. Looks like a mercury dime. Not sure all the details yet, but let me clean that and then we'll take a look at it together. So here's what we have all cleaned up. It is a 1941 mercury dime. It's pretty nice. It's pretty good shape. Let's see the back. Oh yeah. Turned out pretty nice. That's a good silver find. Well, can you tell why I like this spot? It's that really old set of concrete steps. I've got a signal right here. It's not high enough, I don't believe, to be silver. It's right there, you know, 4 3/4, say 5 inches. And you can see it's 47, sometimes shows some 72s. Let's dig that out of there. got something. It's right here. Pull that out of there. I can already tell it's a wheat scent. All right, there's one side of it. Clearly 1 cent. Flip it over. Get it right side up. What do we have? Is that a 1940? Not a 6. 1940. Well, there's the steps. And here's our next target. It's not quite as deep. The last one was 5 inches. This is 3.5. That's a nice loud 62, consistent. Got something. It might be new. It's not all that deep. There it is. Oh, dropped it. Let me grab it. That's I can see the 1 cent there on Lincoln. Let me clean it, see if we can see it. What is that? 1939? 1939, I believe. It's not putting out a strong signal. It's 7.5, but it's deep down in there. Oh, that's an iffy one. Sounds good through the headphones, especially at a different angle. It was getting some high pitched. It's probably iron. But from this direction, over here, I'm getting more solid hit on it. And it's reading right now, somewhat negative, somewhat positive. Right there, it sounds great. I'm gonna pinpoint. It's right there, right over top of it. It's only going one direction. Right there, it sounds great. It's all the way up into the 70s. 65, still showing 7 inches. Now it's down in the 30s and 20s. Let's just pop a plug on that and see what it sounds like after that's off there. It might just null out and turn into iron. Or it could turn into something that sounds really good. All right, we got some dirt out of there. Let's look at it together. See what we get now. Target's actually right there. Showing a lot of positive, not so much wrap around this time. Make sure there's nothing in the plug. Nothing. I'm gonna dig some more. Got a little bit more out of there. I'm pinpointing right now. Target's still right there at 9 inches. Totally different target now. All iron. It's really sounding like iron. You can see it building there on the left. It's actually on this side. Thought it was over here. Wow, there's a lesson learned. Hopefully we all learned something from this. I'll probably put this whole dig on here just so we all can experience this together. I'm gonna take my headphones off as well. I'm very happy right now, by the way. So right about now, you're seeing the same thing I saw just a second ago when my thoughts changed from being iron to something round, and not only round, very large. I did think it was on this side, remember, with pinpoint and stuff, and it just never sounded good. So I could have just covered this thing and went on to the next one, but I kept digging. Let's see what this is. That's really heavy, by the way. I'm gonna spin so we can all see it in the sun. Oh, just dropped it, like always. Is that not awesome? Love that. All right, I'm gonna clean on this. It's really thick. See how big that is? I'm gonna clean on that some, and then they're gonna try to raise a date off that and identify it. And like we all know from the past, I'm not the best at identifying these coins because I need a book in front of me to actually identify it. But we're just gonna call it a large cent for now. Here's what we have. It looks like this side's the side that lasted, or was facing down in the ground. You can read it there. Let me spin it so we can all take a look at it. 1 cent, United States of America. And I'm gonna flip it, and like with most of these large copper coins, it's really hard to make out the date. I'm seeing, which I don't know what version this is, but I definitely see a 1 and an 8, barely, and maybe a 25, but all the stars are there. Liberty, and she's facing left. So if you look at it right there, it kind of looks like 1825. Maybe you're seeing it too, maybe 28. Not sure, but either way, I don't care what year it is, it's awesome. So we all experienced something right there together. You know, it was just most people, I wouldn't have, you know, most days I probably wouldn't have not dug that signal. It really didn't sound good, but something to it made me want to dig it. You know, it was cracking and popping, but, you know, that's probably, say, 9 inches in the ground where that coin finally popped out of there. And, you know, it's highly corroded, it's far away from the coil. You know, it can't get a real good reading on it. And, but it's, you know, that's just the way it goes. You know, you dig stuff like that, you have to. The older I've got, the more patience I have on finding stuff. You know, these signals that come out like that are really iffy. I don't mind digging them, because even if I dig 50 of those and I get one big large cent out of that, or whatever it may be, that's really cool, I'll do that. So yeah, so something to learn. Let's go find some more. So next one at 5 3/4. Feels like it's in here. Just looks like a piece off of a toy of some sort. Here's the next one at 4 3/4. All in the 50s. Not a penny. It's this. I think we found one of these earlier today. You can see that right there, but I can't see this side. Looks like OPF, something with a dash, and that's a 46. That last thing is not a 5. It's actually just dirt or something inside of a dent. I don't know if these would have came off of like something that would have been for like the dairy farm, or milk that was delivered to the house, or who knows, but there's a couple of these in the yard. Found both of them. 5 1/4. Little jumpy, but definitely in the 50s. Still in the hole. Let's see if we can find this thing. It's probably that. It's pretty heavy. Feels like lead. It's so heavy. Let me get it cleaned off. We'll take a look at it. It does have a little bit of white patina to it, but I'm going to take my digging knife and scrape it. Let's show you how soft it is. And you can see my knife, my digging tool, dug right in the side of that thing. So that's a good sign it's lead. You can see the white around the edge better there. So it's just a ball of lead. Now we're a pretty good ways away from the house now, and I do believe this is going to be my last dig of the day. It's right there at 5 1/4 inches. You can see it's all the way up there, but it does have some wraparound on the left. The size of it, it's not that big. You know, it's coin size. The size of it seems good to me, but so does the sound. So we're gonna dig this thing. 4 1/2 inches, 86. It just sounds, you know, too good to be true. We'll see. Could be a sickle bar blade. Could be somebody's wrench. Still in there. Well, isn't that awesome? Alright, I'm gonna take my headphones off. Let's move down here. Alright, I'm still on that contraption, so I have to leave you all up there. But I just flipped that out of the ground. And as you can tell by the size of that, it's not a quarter. It's something much cooler. Huh, that's awesome. Let's look at it. So this is what we have. Flip it over. There's the other side, covered with mud. It's real thick. That's the coolest part. I think these things are so awesome. 1 cent. Let me, I know, I'm not supposed to put it on my jeans, but I want to see what it is. Alright, give me just a minute. So, this is what we have. I can see it. you all might not be able to see it, but there's an 1853 on there. And look how weird it's been struck, how far it's like, as we're looking at it, to the left. It wasn't quite hit right in the middle. So that's why that one side's just like incredibly thick. Kind of mushed everything over there. I'll flip it over now. So there we go, on scent. I don't know if these are matron's head or what they are, but I'm going to find out tonight looking at a book. Absolutely awesome. So there you have it. You got a large scent that sounds like a something that you normally wouldn't dig, that's 10 inches deep. And then you got a large scent that sounds so high and it's wrapping into the negatives that it sounds like just a big piece of iron and you don't want to dig it. But I dug both, luckily, and both of them ended up being large scents, which I don't usually always find large scents, but when I do, I'm always very happy. Got the V3i out today and I'm confident with it. So whatever machine you're using, whatever brand, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be the most expensive top of the line machine. It can be anything. You know, just be confident with it. You know, learn it, get used to it, and you'll find stuff. You'll find your own treasure. To everybody watching, thank you very much for watching. I enjoy making these videos when I have time. So until next time, take care.